Do you guys want to know how to make chocolate mousse like a professional chef? Let's go. Now the star of today's episode is the chocolate mousse. I'm going to be covering how to make the chocolate mousse, but I'm going to be making a dish that includes cherry sorbet, peanut crumble, what's the other element? Honeycomb. There's going to be edible flowers on there, there's going to be fresh berries, it's going to be like an entire dish, but the main element is the chocolate mousse. So we're going to get straight into that recipe right now. To kick things off, you want to put 375 grams of caster sugar into a pan along with 180 grams of cold water. You're going to put this on a medium heat and we're going to cook this out until it is 120 degrees Celsius. While that's coming up to temperature, you want to put 9 egg yolks and 3 whole eggs into the bowl of a stand mixer. Having a stand mixer for this recipe is super important because you're not going to be able to make the pate a bombe without a stand mixer. Put your eggs into the stand mixer with the whisk attachment and whisk that until they are light and fluffy. Don't forget that you've got the sugar syrup on at this point in time, so you want to make sure that you're keeping an eye on that. You're going to be using a sugar thermometer and just making sure that comes up to 120 degrees Celsius. As soon as it's at 120 degrees Celsius, kill the heat and you're going to start pouring this into your eggs as they are whisking on a low to medium speed. You want to pour this in really slowly until all of the mix is in the eggs, and then you're going to whisk this for about 10 minutes until the mix has cooled down just a touch. While this is mixing and cooling down, we can prepare the chocolate. You want to put 450 grams of 70% dark cooking chocolate into a heat-proof bowl set above a pan of simmering water until it has completely melted. Once that's melted, kill the heat, and then we're going to whip up 750 grams of a double cream until that has reached a super soft peak. Honestly, look at this amateur. I totally forgot to put my, I can't get them out of the thing now, my vanilla pods in the cream before I whipped it. So make sure you put the vanilla pods in the cream before you whip it. I'm going to go do that now, just so we don't miss out on that. If you have never used vanilla pods before, it is as simple as running a knife down the length of the pod and then just scraping out the seeds from the centre of the pod. We want to keep the vanilla seeds. You can save the pod to, maybe infuse it into some sugar or something, to have some vanilla sugar. Just make sure you chuck them in before you whip the cream up. You should now have some lightly whipped cream, some melted chocolate and your pate a bombe, which is the egg and sugar mix. We are going to now start incorporating these. So you're going to add 1/3 of your pate a bombe into the cream and you're going to fold this in. And then you're basically just going to do this until the entire amount of the pate a bombe is completely incorporated in with your cream mix. So it's 1/3 at a time. Once that's done, we are going to now incorporate the melted chocolate. The melted chocolate should have cooled down a little bit by now. We just don't want to put it in when it's too hot, otherwise it's going to kind of deflate the air from the mousse. So we're going to follow exactly the same thing that we've done before. We're going to add in 1/3 of our melted chocolate at a time to the mix until it is all fully incorporated. Once you have done that, you should have something that looks like a beautiful, light, fluffy, airy chocolate mousse. So this is what your chocolate mousse is going to look like after everything is fully incorporated. Beautiful, airy and delicious. You can set this up in whatever kind of vessel you want. You could do it in individual ramekins. For what I done, I just chucked it all into one big large bowl and then you're going to throw that into your fridge to set up for about 4 hours. Okay, let's quickly run through the other elements that I made for this dish. One of the elements was a peanut crumb, a very simple recipe. Another thing that I made was the honeycomb. I'm going to cover this in its own video in the future, but here's a little kind of sneak peek at what it looks like to make your own honeycomb. It's very satisfying, very satisfying indeed. And it tastes 10 times better than anything you're going to buy in the shop. I mean, just look at that stuff. Look at those air bubbles in there. I also made a cherry sorbet. I simply just chucked a bunch of frozen cherries into a food processor and blended them up to a smooth consistency. Let's get on to building this dish, shall we? So, onto the bottom of our plate, we want to put some peanut crumb. This is just going to hold everything in place as we plate up. We're going to take a rocher of our chocolate mousse. A rocher is just a fancy word for the shape that I've kind of put this in. That's the best way I can describe it. We're then going to go on with a nice scoop of the cherry sorbet, arrange some berries around on the plate. We're also going to arrange some edible flowers around on the plate. But I think I'm just going to let you enjoy watching me plate up this dish. Wow. There you have it. We have gone above and beyond today. I mean, just look at that thing. That is
beautiful.
It smells amazing. So, just to run you through what we've done here. Obviously, the chocolate mousse is the star of the video. It's the star of the show. That is the thing we have covered the recipe on. Everything else we got on here is peanut crumble, honeycomb, some fresh fruit, and a cherry sorbet. And then just some edible flowers, because why not make it look absolutely amazing? I kind of really fancied cooking something like I cook in restaurants when I used to work in restaurants, and this kind of
tickled my pickle, so to speak.
Let's try this chocolate mousse. Let's get a bit of other stuff on there. Cheers. Oh boy, that chocolate mousse is I'm trying to think of a good description. Something super airy, you know, it's like Aero chocolate put into a mousse form. It just melts away in your mouth. Oh yeah, we killed it. That recipe, best chocolate mousse recipe I think going, full stop. You can't beat it. That is amazing. Now let's get a little bit of everything on this plate. You know, if you really want to up your cooking game, try turning simple things like this into a dish that you can serve at a party or something. It's going to elevate everything. We've got a bit of the honeycomb, a bit of the peanut crumb, a bit of strawberry, some flowers. Just one moment. It's like a party in your mouth. The peanut crumb is rich and just delicious. The honeycomb has a crunch and a sweetness. The sorbet is just like a whole nother layer of flavour, and it's just cutting through the richness of everything. And then you get to that mousse. Let me just try and show you. You see how airy and light and fluffy and delicious that is. Oh man. You will ask for something a bit more fine dining, and this is definitely hitting that. If you want to see more videos kind of covering fancy fine dining techniques and methods and how we've done it in the professional kitchens, let me know down in the comments. I hope you have all enjoyed this week's video. As always, don't forget to drop a like if you like the video, comment what you want me to make in the future, and subscribe if you're enjoying the content. I'll see you guys around.
Bye bye.